All right, it's 9:17 a.m. and just in time for Mother's Day, a cast of women will be taking to the stage to celebrate womanhood.
Yeah, the play delves into the complex relationships and the challenges facing the modern day woman. And it's written by one of New York's very own, Crystal Roman, who is joining us this morning to tell us more about it. So good morning to you, Crystal. Thanks for being here. So tell us about the show. It's called Mothers and Men. So explain the title.
First, thank you for having me.
Oh, great to have you.
The title is a play on words from the American classic of Men and Mice. So it's just a literary play on words, but the title within itself talks about the actual content of the show, which is women and their relationship with their mothers, themselves as mothers, or their relationship with men, be it their fathers, their brothers, or their partners.
Oh, okay.
You know, you think about plays, and yours clearly has some messages it wants to hit on: maternal health, mental health. What's it like to be a playwright in this era and want to get these messages out?
It's always important for me because I want to be able to show our women in the light that we don't often get a chance to see, roles for Black and brown women that are important. So when you come to the show, you get to see that, you get to see the representation, and you also get to hear these stories that you can see the complexity of women, that we don't just have one story, we're not a monolith, we're not linear. We have so much diversity with ourselves, and it gets to see the warmth and the humanity of us.
And that's just it, right? It's an all-female cast?
Yes.
Wow, and why was that so important for you to make sure that it was all female, and not only just female, but it's a diverse group of women?
Yes, it's important. That's been my mission with my company, the Black Latina Movement, for 16 years, to show the diversity of women of color, what we look like, who we are, not only Black and brown women, African American and Latinas, but Afro-Latinas, Black Latinas in particular. So you see women like Celia Cruz to Kobe Bryant and Vanessa Bryant's daughters, and you see women who look like us across the country. And so seeing the cast, representation really matters. It's important in front and behind the camera and the stage.
You know, Crystal, the Tony nominations were just announced, and from your perspective, are you seeing more diverse stories now being told, or is there still a lot of work that needs to be done?
Both. I will say, you know, you are seeing more stories that are pushing to us and who we are and what we look like, but there's still a lot of work to do. I mean, I'm excited to see shows like Hell's Kitchen and The Wiz back up, and they're getting nods. But at the same time, we need to have more writers, more directors, more producers that look like me, that sound like me, that are women, and just pushing those stories. So having that power in what we do as a playwright and saying that we can go further with what we want to say and what we want to do, and we don't have the boundaries of being put in a box.
Yeah, it's so nice to see shows that promote female empowerment, like Suffs, for example, which also is an all-female cast. What was it like for you to see something like that? I mean, again,
it's
all
great.
Female.
It's great. I mean, it's empowering because we know that there's so much diversity in our voices and our sounds. So also women all around, right? So not only Black and brown women can enjoy Of Mothers and Men, all women can enjoy it. But for me, it's always pushing the diversity of Black and brown women. That has been my mission, to see what we look like, what we sound like, because we don't always get that space and we don't always get the opportunities. Other women get to play some of those roles, and so opening the door and allowing us as actresses to really tell those stories, and as a producer as well. That's important for me.
Can you kind of tell us how this show is laid out?
Yes.
Because some shows, you know, it is a storyline, but with your show, how is it laid out?
It's 9 monologues, and the women go through the journey, so they don't interact with each other in that sense. So every monologue is a different story. One woman is having a baby, another woman is considering whether she should or she shouldn't, another woman is happily married, and another woman is going through some issues in her relationship. One woman is being an advocate for her brother, another woman has a tumultuous relationship with her dad. So we see the highs and lows of these relationships. Everything isn't always peaches and cream, so we want to show the reality of that, but also show that people of color have multiple stories, and it's not always the ones that you see on TV or film that are not always the best. But we do have depth to our stories.
And I feel like someone is going to be able to watch this show and go, I feel that. That's
exactly.
me.
I know that story.
Exactly. Yes.
You know, I'm sure this play will inspire other young women, but were there any female playwrights who inspired you?
There's so many, even just writers in general. I had the beautiful experience of meeting Sonia Sanchez at one point in life, and she's an amazing poet. And just really seeing so many, or hearing so many voices when you're reading the text, because you're hearing their voice when you're reading it, and you're seeing yourself in these pictures in your mind when you're reading these stories and you're creating them. And so Maya Angelou, the great, right? We listen to them and we hear what they're saying, and they resonate with us in a different way than other writers.
And now people are looking up to you.
That's right.
Right?
Crystal Roman, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people see your play?
So we will be at the Wild Project on 195 East 3rd Street in New York City, May 7th through the 11th, Tuesday through Friday, 8 p.m., and Saturday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m.
Sounds fabulous. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you
and
for
best
having
of luck
me.
with the show.
Thank you, thank you.
And we'll be right back.